Hello and welcome. The third week of the Grand Naval Battles has ended, so the contests have been done, but today I still have a week 2 battle and I will probably have them tomorrow as well. I'll just dump a whole bunch of them. On top of that, I will tomorrow give you the week 4 contests, etc. And yes, the skin modding contest will be in it. So I would like to ask you guys, would you want me to put out the bunch of matches that I would also like to do but are from week 2 in one long video, or would you like me to put it out with, video by video? But it will be like on the same day, so you will get like 5 or 6 videos in that one day. Essentially, I would like to know which one would you like, because if I put it in 5 or 6 videos, then it might spam some people's subscribe feed, which would be annoying. Anyways, moving on to the match. This is a submission for the best tier 5 or lower battle. Yes, you heard that right. Tier 5 or lower. And our hero today is waxx25 in a tier 8 Soviet cruiser, the Chapayev. I don't like... Did you just not read, or did you just not care? I don't know how this happened. Because this is not the only one. I got like 5 of them. They were pretty good matches, but they were like tier 10 battles, etc. Not tier 5 or lower. Anyways, this match is on the map Trap, and our Chapayev friend here went towards A, which is a bit unusual, because especially since they have 3 ships. What happens nowadays is that both sides go into C and fight over there, and some people go into B, and like one ship usually goes into A or something. The thing is that I think that this map the way this map is played is going to evolve. It's going to be mostly focused on B in the future. But anyways, he found that Destroyer at A. This is actually a nice reason why a cruiser goes into A, because usually the ship that goes into A is a destroyer, so a cruiser can just wipe the floor with them. However, of course, the destroyer might just get away, and then it's kind of a some wasted time, because cruisers tend to be a bit slower. Anyways, it's an Anshan, so this is like a zero threat. Although maybe those torpedoes. Nah, no. These ain't gonna do anything. I don't understand why he just did this. Why would you look at this when torpedoes were incoming? Weren't you like interested whether you would get hit? Anyways, they are going to Cap A with the Atlanta. I guess the Atlanta would be actually a great ship to go here because she is reasonably fast. Her range is pretty garbage, and she's excellent at killing destroyers and dodging torpedoes. The Chapayev is excellent for this as well, but this New Mexico is definitely being useless. He should be over here if he wants to be on this side. Preferably he should be at sea though. Help his team, because every single ship that is missing from the big fight makes your team get a much higher chance of losing. So it seems that Vax now wants to go towards B, which I think is the right decision. And because there's a Nuremberg and what's it called, New Orleans around, I guess he will have to fight those, which is a bit unfortunate, but it should be okay. Because the Chapayev is a pretty fiery ship, and fires tend to be pretty bad for ships. At least I haven't heard of any ship liking fires. These shots are pretty good, but then again, the Nuremberg is decently close. I'm not sure whether you should actually switch to AP. From this kind of range, you get like one shot off, and actually the Nuremberg should have already turned away, and this shot shouldn't do anything, or shouldn't have done anything, and it did nothing. Luckily, you did switch back to HE, which is the right decision. Max, essentially, I talked with strangers about this. In his opinion, and I agree, the way you should use AP in cruises is for ambushes, or in situations where you predict the turn. But in every other situation, you should just keep firing HE, because if the cruiser starts turning even a little bit, Your cruiser AP ain't gonna do shit because they just bounce off the hull, and that's just a wasted shot. Especially cruisers where the HE actually is deadly, like on a Sinja or Sao. Cruise HE salvo can deal like 8 to 10,000 damage in one salvo. So if you fire AP and do nothing at all, that's a huge amount of damage that you missed out on. On top of that, fires as well. But this AP switch was, again, pretty good. And he actually did kill it with the Citadels. That's a very nice shot then. But now it's time to fight the New Orleans. That New Orleans' camo looks pretty cool. I don't think I have seen that one before. Looks nice. Anyways, his team controls B and C, A and B, I mean, which is very good for them. However, the enemy team did take C, which makes kind of sense because they took 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 ships to take B, and the enemy only took 3 or 4 or maybe 5. I don't know. I mean, they lost 4, so maybe it was actually 5. But then again, one of the ships that Wax's team did take into the A and B area is New Mexico. Whether that New Mexico would have made a difference, I don't know. But it does say that that New Mexico is going to be out of combat for a really long time still in the future. Anyways, Wax actually switched AP to fire at this Pepsi, which I find surprising. It's a fair distance away. Don't know if it's worth it. Because against cruisers you will be dealing a lot of damage. Yes, you did 6,700 damage, but what if the Pepsi had turned away and your HE wouldn't have done anything? But at least you're getting decently lucky here with the AP shot, so it's okay. And the Pepsi doesn't seem to want to dodge too much anyway. And yeah, I think he started moving away way too late. Now it's late already. And you're dead, Pepsi. Shouldn't sail broadside on to a ship. Oh my god, why is he still alive? Well, that's unfortunate. Needed another shot. Not that really there are many other targets. Oh my god, what the hell? Okay, maybe I underestimated how bad the Chapayev's HE damage potential is. Maybe then AP is the right decision after all. Okay, he switched to New Mexico because the Pepsi went behind the island. That's understandable, and I think it makes sense. HE is the right decision here as well because you're going for fires mostly, while you keep sailing in a line to get a shot on the Pepsi, but I think a DD is going to kill secure it, perhaps. Yeah, okay, never mind. Seichi damage is like non-existent. Okay, I guess he can get a shot on the Pepsi soon. Oh, the Ranger is visible. That's actually very good. But Pepsi, oh my god, no, I think he needs still, oh, and yep, a DD kill secured it. Sorry, when it happens to you, it's kill stealing. Sorry, my bad. Anyways, shots on the Ranger, who is really poorly positioned. I don't understand that at all. What the hell is with that damage? Come on, fires. Yeah, that Ranger is so poorly positioned, she should already be dead. But they don't have anybody else there, so guess it doesn't work out, and the immediate threat is the New Mexico, I guess. Or maybe he switches it so that he gets a fire, then he can... then the damage control party doesn't eat another salvo if it would set a fire again. Okay, another shot on the New Mexico, and I think you are getting a bit too close for my comfort, at least to this battleship in your... What the... What just happened there? That was 9,000 damage in a AP salvo against the New Mexico. Follow-up did nothing at all, but the first one did 9,000 damage. What? That's some crazy damage. Okay, so he's 9,000, 0, and 4,000 salvos. And another 4,000 one. I guess it makes sense because The HE damage on these ships is really poor ever since they nerfed or fixed armor schemes for a low tier, or I don't know. They did some fixes for armor, and that essentially ruined 155mm HE completely. Like it does like no damage at all, only fires. Okay, that ranger started finally running, but I think she's going to die to the TD. Those were some good fires by the Chapayev on the New Mexico. That New Mexico might even expire from this, although I'm not entirely sure. His team holds a nice positional advantage, but actually, if you think about the ships that are combat ready, they're in a poor-ish position because the carrier did survive the onslaught by the. Oh, never mind, the Mutski's still alive. The plane just covered her. I thought she was already dead. But again, if you play DDs, don't hunt carriers. At tier 4 or 5, sure, even if you're like in a tier 6 battle. But at tier 7, 8, etc., just stop. Don't go for the carriers. They are so hard to kill. Like, yes, if it works out, great. But you put so much effort into it that it just often doesn't work out either. And on top of that, even if it does work out, you might be so out of position that that's all you will do in the entire match, and it will take you like 13 minutes. And at that point, the carrot dying isn't even that important anymore. So, really, my recommendation is after tier 6, just stop. And when I say tier 6, I mean tier 6 carriers, not when you are tier 6 or higher. Anyways, Wax is fighting the Tirpitz, who has her guns pointed elsewhere, so Wax can shoot with impunity. And the Tirpitz is nicely getting barbecued. Oh, by the way, nice premium consumables, man. Nice premium consumables. Although in this game, it definitely hasn't made a difference at all. Then again, nobody's even shooting at him for God knows why, they just aren't. Like, this Tirpitz, he's been getting shelled by this Chapayev for forever, and yet he had kept shooting the battleship who he could just angle against, while this Chapayev kept barbecuing him. Like, he has taken 30,000 damage in fires, pretty much alone. And actually, this game is a bit surprising. Wax's team is losing, like I said. And by the way, the New Mexico has finally entered the battle. But then again, Wax's team still has the positional advantage in terms of where the ships are on the map, because look, the Stirpitz is here, this Nagata is over here, and the other ships are really far away. While Wax's team is still holding B, although I don't like where the position of this carrier is. Funny thing is, this New Mexico is one of the last 3 ships left in the game. I guess it makes sense if you're literally never in combat. But now it's the fight against the Nagata. I still don't like the carrier's positioning. But I think what the carrier should do now is essentially hunker down in that spot. Keep yourself against that island. The enemy battleships probably won't be able to detect you, and even if they do, they can't shoot you. So you would essentially be keeping the B cap alive. On top of that, you would be really close to the enemy fleet. So, it's time to try to barbecue this Nagato now, although I think they just need to play on time. I think that New Mexico is going to die though. Although she is fighting New Orleans, maybe she can take the New Orleans with her. But again, surprisingly, the Nagato doesn't give a damn about the Chapayev. He's going purely for the New Mexico, which doesn't make sense to me. The Chapayev is such a nice, juicy, big target, and he is going to barbecue you to death. I guess it might be a consideration of points at this point, because the New Mexico might die soon, so they gain some more points. But what if this Chapayev just runs away then? Then what? You still won't be in time. I guess there is the carrier still to barbecue the Nagato on top of the Chapayev, so maybe it's fine to ignore the Chapayev and keep going for the Nagato, but I don't know. I think it's still a mistake. And Nagato getting barbecued to death. Okay, actually at this point it's AP to death. Oh, and Confederate. That's very nice. Come on, Nagato. Keep your guns pointed elsewhere. Yes, please turn your ship so that it takes even longer for our guns to be on target. So that this Chapayev can just sit in one spot and kill you. Like, I don't understand. I don't understand because yes, the Chapayev played well because she stayed back and shot, etc. But people didn't shoot her at all. Like, they would instead shoot the battleships that would be, yes, a bit closer, but you could just angle against it. Can't angle against the barbecue of the Chapayev. Not to mention that Nagato at the end there kept turning in a way where he couldn't bring his guns to bear on the Chapayev and just died before he could get even one shot off. Anyways, battle performance. 420,000 credits, a really nice result. 6,200 experience, mainly due to multipliers. So he got, I think that's Arsonist, then Confederate, then Witherer, First Blood, and High Caliber. No Kraken because, well, the enemy team lost before he could get that. And he had 388 shell hits on target. That's really impressive. Like, really, really impressive. In my book, anyway. 4 ship kills, understandable. 16 fires, that's a really good result. And 5 citadel hits. That's very well played, in my opinion. Like, this is pretty much how you should play these types of cruises. Although I guess you do need to get a bit lucky so that the enemies don't actually shoot you. Anyways, 1 cap defense and 1 cap assist. Okay, moving on. The Chapayev was number 1 at 2,800 experience. By a large margin. Without her, they would have lost the game. Although the Ranger did play a part, for some reason she is getting a really low score. And, I mean, actually, if you look at the Farragut and the New Orleans on the enemy team, then they actually played really well, especially the New Orleans. He was there, like, the entire time, if you looked at it. She was there at the start, near the A cap, and yet she was still alive at the end. At least I think it was that New Orleans. Yeah, there are no other New Orleanses, so it must have been that one. So that New Orleans actually played really well. So in the detailed report, that's 197,000 damage. Pretty nice equal split, 55,600 damage with AP, 103 shell hits, 69,700 damage with HE, 290 shell hits, and 72,000 damage through the fires that were set. Out of the 921 main battery shells fired, he actually got 388 shots on target. So that's actually a pretty good ratio. It's a ratio of, divided by 9 to 1, 42% in my opinion. Okay, that's a very good hit ratio. So I think this was a great game, except for the part that it was submitted to a tier 5 or lower match competition. It is, after all, a tier 8 ship. But thank you anyway, because I enjoyed watching it. So anyways, if you guys enjoyed this video, then please subscribe, and thanks for watching.